There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app today to get free delivery on your first 3 orders, while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off with your first order at bollandbranch.com. Code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine, the show that teaches you how to survive the things that can kill you.
Like wild hogs, hitchhiking,
serial killers? For sure they can. And also the things that just make you wish you were dead.
like owning a lizard, red vegetables. How about creepy German men?
Yeah, check. Scary, scary, scary.
I got to calm myself down with the theme song.
Let's do it.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. I'm Danielle.
I'm Kristine.
Kristine, you were about to take a sip of your coffee.
It's so...
kind of forgot we were about to start.
I know. It's so delightfully tormenting me.
It is. Well, take a sip.
It's
petite.
It's so tiny and cute.
It's teeny of the tinies. So, what's going on?
Well, I did want to tell you I saw... I like telling you guys about bumper stickers.
Yes.
So I was behind another car in the rain, and these people had a couple bumper stickers, and one of them was Medicare for All.
Okay.
Which, yes, I agree.
Sure.
The other one was, I brake for butterflies.
On the same car?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's cute, but I'm
that
like...
seems very dangerous.
No.
Don't brake for butterflies.
Because you shouldn't even brake for deer.
You shouldn't? What are you supposed to do?
Hit it.
Oh. Why?
Because swerving is dangerous for everybody.
But what if you just slam your brakes?
Well, yes, you do try to slow down, but
if you can't, you should just hit it.
Remember, I told you guys this on a podcast a while back.
Yeah.
Smear the deer.
Right, I do remember that.
So violent.
But you hit it. So to me, it's like you got to just hit all the butterflies.
You're really living on life's edge if you're braking just for butterflies.
I know.
I mean, that's just.
She's like, I don't care how many people I take out.
Yeah.
Butterflies.
I saw a monarch butterfly. That's it. You're dead.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw that.
That's why she needs Medicare. She's gonna get whiplash from braking for a butterfly.
It was definitely a woman.
I figured.
Yeah. Men aren't braking for butterflies.
No.
And they don't want Medicare for all.
That's right.
Maybe a couple do. What do you want, Garen?
I want to smash some butterflies.
You want to smash them?
Of course not, no. But I do want Medicare for all.
Garen, did you see the picture I posted on Instagram?
I did.
About the
great.
It's just my reach is spreading, and it's very exciting.
I know.
That was in 29 Palms, and me and the kids, everyone in my family sped too. We were all delighted. The whole restaurant is squirrel themed.
What?
And they had an open mic. I should show you that. I'll put that picture up too. The poster had a squirrel on it holding a microphone. It was like,
Are you serious?
I swear.
Oh my
and the
God.
place was called. I want to say it was called Garden Squirrel, but it was Ground Squirrel.
Yeah.
And we didn't go back there because I think at night it becomes a bar. And the thing that was so funny about it is at night we were driving past it. I didn't know at the time it was called, Ground Squirrel. And I just noticed there was a bunch of people inside just rocking. There must have been a band in the front playing, and their arms were all just like, pounds, fist pounding in the air. And one lone guy standing outside in the front, just his fist pounding in the air.
Outside?
Yeah. And
In front of the place?
Yes. And it was just such a funny visual.
That's hysterical.
To see one guy alone standing out front. Like, I don't know if he'd gone outside
With
to
the
smoke.
smoke, yeah.
But it was hilarious because it was just like so many people inside and then the one guy.
Did you tell Alex that I made him smoke?
Yes.
I forced him to.
Well, yeah, she was like, look, she got
Another one.
She got another one. What else, guys? What else is going on?
Well, a lot of TV watching on my end.
Okay. Tell me.
So I finished The Rest of Us.
Oh, the final two people that are alive show?
The final two people those who have not yet died.
The big man and the tiny girl.
Right. Big man and tiny girl.
There was
yeah.
a funny Jezebel post. The Jezebel, the website.
Yeah.
If you guys listening who aren't aware, it's
Not the 30s Betty Davis movie. Okay.
for pre-Hays
40s,
code.
Yeah.
That was it was like an op-ed that was like, I'm a sucker for big men protecting little girls' dystopian futurism movies. It was like, because I think an Adam Driver movie just came out that's very similar.
Oh, really?
Where it's like he's the grown-up and there's a little girl that he has to protect. And
that's funny.
And the same dynamic where it's like, I'm grumpy, why are you here? And
Right.
she's like, spirited, you're gonna like me, and
I'm going to win you over.
yeah. And I was like, I might be too.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. So I finished that. You have not finished it, right?
No, I think we're maybe 6 episodes in. We just spent an episode in a mall. Oh. Yeah. Yes.
That's a heartache.
That is a heartache. I thought, there's some heartache episodes.
Holy
for sure.
moly. So then Jimmy and I began and finished The Bear.
I've watched a couple episodes.
It's really good.
And I don't know why I didn't go away on purpose because I didn't like it. It was one of those shows where I'm like, we should watch that, and then forgot about
Well,
it.
Jimmy thinks that it's like the best show ever.
It's in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, this hits so many buttons.
Well, yeah.
He probably doesn't say buttons like that.
He doesn't say buttons. Especially the guy who plays cousin. Jimmy loves that guy. He's really good. Actually, all the acting is really good. Like some episodes really feel like you're just in a restaurant. It's weird because the way it's filmed, it's like the camera's like very free flowing, following people through the restaurant. And
I'll have to go back.
have you watched that, Karen?
I watched the first episode. It was very stressful.
Oh, it only gets more stressful.
Great.
But there are some funny moments. But
I like him. He's great.
Yeah, he's really good.
Actually, the whole cast is good.
They're
great,
really
as far as I
good.
remember.
Yeah.
It just kind of got
Okay.
overwhelmed with other things.
We're all about right now Ted Lasso coming back because Benjamin has just recently watched it.
Oh.
And he is obsessed.
So is Matt Belknap's son.
That makes
he
sense.
plays soccer.
Same with, Benji's on
Benji
2
plays
soccer.
too. Right.
I think it's almost too much soccer because he's now on 2 different leagues.
Oh, boy.
And so he has soccer, I think, like 4 nights a week and multiple games all weekend. And he's doing flag football. But soccer is, he's like living, breathing soccer, wants to be a professional soccer player. So, yeah, he's obsessed with Ted Lasso and Roy Kent. He's like, God, that guy's so funny. He's so funny. Like, he's very hairy. He likes to talk about how hairy he is and how funny he is.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
That's
normal.
They were just at the White House. Ted Lasso people.
Did you watch it or I heard about it, but I only know.
I just know that the guy who plays the reporter is there, like standing in the back.
Trent Krim.
Yeah, Trent Krim, Independent.
From The Independent.
Yeah, he was there. No, I don't even know why they were there. I don't know what the
I think it was about
premise
mental
was.
health.
Yeah,
to talk about mental
that's right.
health.
Yeah,
I haven't started the new season. Is it any good?
Benjamin already watched the first episode without me, even though we were supposed to watch it together.
Oh.
He couldn't wait.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "It's really good, and I'll watch it again with you tonight because tonight is our night together." And we go eat cheeseburgers and we watch Ted Lasso.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
And then what does Alex and Sven do?
She has rehearsals for Oklahoma.
Oh, that's still happening.
It's all
seems like-
year. It's all school year until April when she has her big performance.
Broadway shows don't rehearse this long.
So last night I was running lines with her, and I think I drive her crazy because I get way too into doing all the characters because I have to do all the other. Because I told you she's curly. But I get to be all these different, Aunt Eller or whatever, Auntie May, I don't know what her name is, and then all the girls talking and all the men talking, and I'm just like, what she talking about, curly? Like, I just get to, and I can tell she's just kind of like, her head is in her hands until it's her time for her line.
She's like, Mom, you could just give me the last line to lead into.
Yes.
When she does the actual performance, everything's just going to be just incredulous, the entire, just like...
Yeah. She's going to roll her eyes until it's her line.
I just hope she'll recognize the other lines because the other lines by the other girls are probably going to be like...
They're not going to be as dynamic as you.
I bid $46 on Lori. I don't know. I hope they'll be great. I hope the other girls will be great. But I'm like... I bet you get my horse for you, Curly. Like, I'm like,
oh God,
I'm having like the best time, as a person who never did this.
80 Annie, whatever her name is.
Yes, yes,
no.
I got to do 80 Annie. It's, this is my time.
Oh my God,
I am living through vicariously through my daughter.
You're living your best life,
stage mom life. Yeah,
mom. That's great.
Listen,
yeah,
I don't have a segue.
Okay, that's fine.
But I do have a very exciting topic to talk about today.
I'm excited.
I am going to do something that we don't usually do.
Okay.
And I am going to let our listeners know this is not an episode for children.
Oh, dang.
And I'm going to continue to let you know this episode contains violence, assault.
Oh, my God.
Murder.
Holy shit.
And sexual assault. So if that kind of stuff is not for you, you can come back next week.
Sure.
Because it's going to get a little insane.
Okay. Is that the accent you do for Oklahoma?
Yeah. It's one of them. I have to switch it up. You know, I want it to feel diverse and I want to feel contemporary. So I do a lot of things that a white lady who's middle-aged probably shouldn't do.
Well,
All right. Today, we're going to talk about how to survive a serial killer.
Oh, damn.
Holy shit.
I know. I'm excited too, guys.
Oh my God.
While you're preparing, my aunt allegedly interacted with a serial killer.
What?
Once.
Which one? Do you know?
Leslie.
What if you told us which aunt?
I thought that's what he was doing.
No.
Leslie, I think it was Aunt Leslie.
Leslie Cockrell.
Allen Williams? Does that sound right?
That's a man?
Leslie Allen Williams. I think that was his name. Yeah, Allen.
I was like, no wonder he became
Leslie Ann Warren. Yeah, Leslie Ann Warren.
Leslie Ann Warren. Oh, yeah, she was one of the best
I don't
serial
remember
killers.
that serial killer.
He was in Michigan.
Okay.
I don't know how many people he killed, but apparently they crossed paths at a gas station he worked at, and they spoke to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if he followed her or if she just left, and that was it.
Wow.
But she probably said, "Well, Jesus protect me," because she's a maniac religious person. But
she might be listening. Just kidding.
I can tell you she is not listening.
Is she still alive?
Yes.
All right, yeah. Garen, do you have any contact with her?
I do not.
Who is she sisters with? Your mom or your dad?
My dad.
Get the story.
I'll get the story.
Get every single detail.
I'll get it all.
Because I'm
we
so
need to know the story.
Because
how would she even remember someone she just said hello to at a gas station?
I think they caught him right after that. Oh. Like it was like boom, boom, caught him.
Okay.
So she could have been on his, wish list or something. I don't know.
Well, that is a
check.
One quick fact that I will just say now, even though it's later, is for every person a serial killer, abducts or gets, they've had 31 attempts.
Wow,
usually.
That's really persistent of them because that's a lot of failure. That's
a lot of
good
failure
for them.
Yeah,
a lot of motivation.
They are
keep going.
Very motivated.
We can learn from this.
We can. There's a lot we can learn, and I'm gonna learn you.
Okay.
All right. First, I'm gonna tell you what a serial killer actually is, because there is some confusion among people.
Okay.
This is according to the FBI's Behavioral Research and Instruction Unit. Guys, I used a lot of sources. I'm not going to list all of them because it's a page of sources.
Okay.
What I'm going to let you know is I'm going to put them all in the newsletter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just say I got a lot of good sources. So I'm not going to shout them all out on the episode because that would take too long. Okay. It's an individual who's committed 3 or more homicides segregated by a block of time.
Okay.
In other words, that means they take breaks in between.
Yeah, not a mass murder.
No. So that's what separates the Ted Bundys, who committed a spaced apart series of 30 murders in 7 states from 1974 to 1978, to say like the Columbine shooters or bombers like Timothy McVeigh. You know, just doing this research, I realized how much bad information is out on the internet. Like there would be, even on like Psychology Today, somebody would write an op-ed and it would be like about serial killers, and they'd list like the Unabomber.
Really?
He's not a serial killer.
But that's
I know, but
thing.
I think they lump a lot of mass murderers like that in with serial killers, but they shouldn't.
Did Ted Kaczynski actually kill anybody? Did he explode bombs, or was he just in the process of...
I think he did kill people. Maybe Garen can look that up.
Because maybe if he exploded more than one bomb at a different place, then that's why they're calling him a serial killer.
That's a good question.
All right.
How common are serial killers? This is interesting. Okay. Despite how well they are represented in podcasts and Dateline, they're exceptionally rare.
Okay.
Less than 0.01% of murders are classified as serial incidents. You've got a 0.00039% chance of being a serial killer's victim. You've got better odds of scoring big on the lottery.
Okay.
Scoring big on the lottery, like Powerball, than bumping into a Bundy. So to remind you of your odds on that, you've got better odds of becoming president of the United States than winning big on the lottery.
Oh, okay.
So your odds of winning the lottery, like
Yes.
I don't mean the scratcher.
Wait, you have a better chance of becoming president?
Yes.
Even though there's only been 46?
This is according to statistics that I found. Again, I'm going to source all this.
Okay, it doesn't make any sense to me, but okay.
That's what they do, that thing where they're like, here, I looked this up on a couple places where it was like, here are your odds of winning big on the lottery. And it was all the different things that you had a better...
Yeah, okay.
Like, your odds were greater of this, 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 and this.
Right.
One of them was becoming president of the United States.
And where was Garen learning to drive on that odds?
Well, I think the president of the United States teaching Garen to drive...
And then killing him in a series.
And being a serial killer was...
infinitesimal.
Pretty small.
Yeah.
So that's not...
Guess I won't mail that letter to Mr. Biden.
Yeah. Set that dream aside. So the odds are of being killed by a serial killer, you have better chance of being the president.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Again, if there are any statisticians out there that are like, look, Chris.
No, I think that
you can please correct me on this.
All right.
This is all according to research I found, and I did try to source legitimate places, not just like falsestatistics.com.
Right.
What makes a serial killer? This is from the attendees at the Serial Murder Symposium.
Ooh, fun.
Wouldn't you want to go to that kind of?
Yes.
I kind of would want to just go and like wear some spectacles and a bow tie and pretend I belong.
Right.
So you want to look like a serial killer?
Yeah, that's right. Make sure to use your middle name. That'll
I don't know.
cement it.
I just liked the idea of me wearing spectacles and a bow tie. They agree. There's no generic profile of a serial murderer. They differ in many ways, including their motivations for killing and their behavior at the crime scene. However, they did identify certain traits common to some serial murderers, including sensation seeking, a lack of remorse or guilt, impulsivity, the need for control, and predatory behavior. These traits and behaviors are consistent with the psychopathic personality disorder. We are going to talk about the psychopathic personality disorder a little bit later.
Okay.
I just wanted to put that out there, that this idea that there's like not one size fits all. There's all different kinds.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to talk about some myths.
Okay.
Do you guys like myths?
Yeah. I mean, not if there's too much magic. If it's like light on the magic, I'm into the myth.
Okay. Guess what?
What?
No magic today.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Most serial killers are dysfunctional loners. That is a big myth.
Really?
They're not. Most
Okay.
serial killers are not reclusive weirdos who barely leave their apartment.
Yeah, so take that.
Take that.
Profilers.
They often have families, homes, jobs, and appear very normal and functional.
Families like their own family.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because they blend in so well, they're oftentimes overlooked as suspects. I'm going to give you some examples. Robert Yates killed 17 sex workers in the Spokane. It's Spokane, right? Not Spokane?
I think it's Spokane, but when you said Robert Yates, I was like, if you had asked me if he was a poet, I would have said yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yates.
I was like, didn't he write
William Yates?
Reservation Day with, and they made it in a movie with.
Maybe he did both.
Yeah, he might have written that book. I might be getting the name of that book wrong, but I know they made it into a movie with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's called Titanic.
No.
Something Road.
Reservation Road.
Is it Reservation Road?
I think that's Richard
I thought it was
Yates. Reservation Road.
Oh, that was terrible, that movie.
Oh, wait, no, this is a Joaquin Phoenix movie.
That was a really good book, though, but it was depressing. It was like, marriage is
I
bad.
thought it was Redemption Road or something.
It,
In any case,
find it.
I meant Yates the poet from like...
Yeats.
Oh, is it pronounced Yeats?
Oh, now I'm thinking of Keats.
You're thinking of Yeezy.
Wait, I'm thinking Michael Keaton. Yeezy.
What are we talking about?
Is this like a word association game?
Yes.
Okay. He killed 17 sex workers in the Spokane, Washington area during the 1990s. He was married with 5 children.
Wow.
Lived in a middle-class neighborhood and was a decorated U.S. Army National Guard helicopter pilot. Yates buried one of his victims in his yard beneath his bedroom window. He was eventually... Oops, I lost my place. Sorry. I know you guys think I have this all memorized. He was eventually arrested and pled guilty to 13 of the murders. Here's another one.
The other 4, he's like, you figure it out yourself, motherfuckers.
Those 4 didn't do. The Green
He had some pride.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to cop to those.
Yeah.
The BTK killer, Dennis Rader, killed 10 victims in and around Wichita, Kansas. He sent 16 written communications to the news media over a 30-year period, taunting the police and the public. He was married with 2 children, was a Boy Scout leader.
Oh, no.
Right? I'm like, you're giving me red flags.
But the married with children, that actually does go against what I thought. So, yes, that is interesting to me.
Served honorably in the U.S. Air Force, was employed as a local government official, and was president of his church.
Jesus.
Okay. All serial killers are white men.
Right, that's not true anymore.
False. And it was never true.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
Actually, the racial diversity of serial killers tends to mirror that of the overall U.S. population. Yes, there are more white men serial
Because
killers.
there are more white
There are more
people.
white people. We've got serial killers who are African American, Latino, and Asian America. Only white and normally male serial killers such as Ted Bundy become popular cultural icons.
You know, the fucking man.
Typical.
I'm going to put a placard on my lawn that reflects these statistics so people know that serial killers come in all colors in this neighborhood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones that get all the attention. And that also reflects what our culture is like. And yes,
But it's not the vast majority?
well, it is a bigger majority, but it's not
Right.
the vast majority.
Okay.
Because it's not the vast...
It's proportionate, you're
It's
saying.
proportionate. And there are female serial killers. In fact, approximately 17% of all serial homicides in the U.S. are committed by women.
Wow.
that is way higher than I
17%.
expected.
And it's actually higher than in the murder population of regular murders, like of women murdering. So they actually present higher as serial killers than they do as actual murderers.
So once a woman gets a taste for murder, she keeps on going.
She likes the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eileen Warhos, is that her name? The woman?
Warnos?
Warnos, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
Yes.
Monster, yeah.
I think she was a sex worker who killed her Johns.
I saw the movie, I don't remember.
That's what I'm
But that sounds right.
remembering. I
Okay.
don't know a lot about that story, but I do remember that, if I'm remembering correctly, which is also possible.
But apparently she wasn't that rare.
Apparently she wasn't that rare. Here's another myth. All serial killers are either mentally ill or evil geniuses.
Okay.
This made me think of Silence of the Lambs as a really good example of how movies depict serial killers erroneously.
Okay.
Like you think of Buffalo Bill, who's like, "Hey, excuse me, are you size 10? I think I actually did pretty good just now.
I think you should use that voice when you're rehearsing from Oklahoma.
Hey, I give you $24 for that. horse, Annie. But that's it.
Was she a rather large girl? Okay.
But he came across as this mentally ill social outcast, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but that's...
yeah.
And then you've got Hannibal Lecter as the evil genius who's
right.
outwitting the FBI at every turn.
Right.
Instead, serial killers are much more likely to exhibit antisocial personality disorders such as sociopathy and psychopathy, which are not considered to be mental illnesses by the American Psychiatric Association.
So this is where I get confused between what is a mental illness and what is a personality disorder.
Well, here's the thing. They've been debating this for about 50 years.
Okay.
And I do think it's so... Psychopathy and sociopathy fall under antisocial personality disorder, which I do think the DSM-4 recognizes.
What's the DSM?
The DSM is what the American Psychiatric Association uses to diagnose.
Oh, okay.
And
Diagnosis study
DSM,
manual?
diagnostic. I don't remember, but it's their big manual of like, here's what we consider to be all the recognized mental illnesses. And they do call the antisocial, it's a personality disorder.
Right.
And that's not the same thing as a mental illness.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
The differentiation. It doesn't mean, the problem with those two things is that they don't see necessarily that psychopaths and sociopaths can be treated with medication.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So an illness is something that can be treated. A disorder is something that cannot be treated?
Well, I think they're finding, like, there is some research coming out about maybe that certain medications might help some of the effects of psychopathy and
Sociopathy.
Thank you. And I'll include that in the newsletter because I read about it. It was really interesting. But it's not the same as mental illness, which is where they're like, hey, we found you just need more serotonin at the synapse.
Okay.
This is where it's like their brains are wired in a different way. Here's another myth about serial killers, that they're, the evil genius myth. Okay,
they're a bunch of dumb shits.
This is another popular stereotype, like from things like Seven and Dexter, that they're these cunning masterminds who outsmart the police at every turn. Most serial killers who have had their IQ tested, it's between borderline and above average intelligent, which is consistent with the general population.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So they're basically as smart as the rest of us. It's not high intelligence that makes serial killers successful. It's obsession, meticulous planning, and a cold-blooded, often psychopathic personality that enables them to operate over long periods of time without detection.
Okay, so they just have the get up and go to do this.
They're really motivated.
Yeah, okay.
It's like they're like Stephen King. You
mean how he produces a book a
yes,
minute?
Like they just, because they're so... he's driven in that way too, but just not to kill, but to just like, I'm going to put out another book. But they're like that with killing people.
Got it.
They don't have a death wish or longing to get caught. There's also this idea that they're always like, I'm going to leave these clues.
Right.
Serial killers all leave a totem or a... That's not true. Some do. Some do.
Like this one you said, like sent letters.
Sent letters. That's not I think that a lot of shows have depicted this idea that all of them do that.
Yeah.
They leave a tell or some kind of the green ribbon killer. They all leave he leaves a green ribbon.
Right, they're taunting the police.
That's not true. Most go to extremes to avoid detection. They learn from their mistakes, they improve their craft, and they rarely taunt their investigators. Here's a few things we do know, okay? As of this date, they are not capable of rehabilitation.
Right.
So this is getting back to this 2017 prison study I read about that was so interesting. So they did this study on murderous psychopaths in a prison in Wisconsin. And what they found out was, in the psychopathic brain, the benefits of the reward always outweigh the risks of all the negative consequences, including getting caught, going to prison, getting hurt in prison, and harming others.
Okay.
So in the mind of a psychopath, the benefits of the reward of doing a violent act are all that matters, and the consequences have no relevance.
Okay.
Here's a little bit about their psychology, which you had asked about, right?
Yeah.
So psychopathy, it's common, right? Like we talked about, but there are differences in the way their kind of antisocial personality disorder presents. So many lack self-control, need this immediate gratification. They practice their predatory behaviors. They possess a complete lack of remorse. They can be charming, spectacularly manipulative. They're pathological liars. Oh, and around puberty, most were cruel to animals, pyromaniacs, and chronic bedwetters.
Yeah, what is that? What is the bedwetting thing?
I don't know, but this is known, I thought this was interesting. This is known in forensic psychiatry as the triad.
Ah.
So those three things in combination are like
Wow.
a really bad thing to watch out for. We've gotten better at intervening before they become serial killers. Here's something. The early catalyst for serial murder, family dysfunction, sexual abuse, can be remedied by quality time with a child psychologist.
Ah.
So when they're seeing like, hey, my kid's wet in the bed, being mean to animals, and what was the third thing?
Fires.
Starting fires. Hey, let's get into some family therapy. Now, I'm not saying that prevents.
Right, because they said it.
But
you can't.
There is more. We care. We're keeping an eye on kids.
Yeah.
There are more interventions.
Okay.
So maybe we're stopping it at the pass.
Right.
This is another theory. Again, here's another theory. I've said this before, and I was kind of joking, but this is an actual legit theory. Serial killers didn't disappear, but rather transformed into mass shooters. Oh. Who have skyrocketed numbers over the past 30 years. Most experts agree, however, that the two profiles don't overlap enough.
I was going to say, yeah.
The profiles and the motivations tend to be different. But I have thought that before. I'm like, they just all turned into mass shooters. So how do you avoid? I mean, this is our show. How do you avoid being murdered by a serial killer?
Right.
First of all, you won't, because based on the numbers, we know you're going to become president first.
Right.
But I'm going to just go over some tips anyway, because our show isn't called Don't Worry, This Is Definitely Not Going to Happen to You.
We try to instill some unrealistic fear into our listeners.
That's the show.
So that they listen, think they need us.
So here's the simple. Don't do what their victims do. They go for
die?
Yeah. They go for the easiest, most vulnerable, and most disposable prey. Generally, those are women and youths of both sexes.
Okay.
So don't be a woman.
Got it.
Okay. I mean, I'm basically not one
I think
anymore.
the doctor told me I'm officially not a woman anymore.
I'm like genderless now. I think when you hit a certain age, you're just like...
Right. The blood results come back.
No one sees me as one,
right.
So it doesn't matter. If you're a kid... why are you listening to this?
Right. We told you not to at the beginning of the episode.
So what are you doing? Turn this off. The next piece of advice is grow up fast.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't be a kid.
Oh, God, that's so depressing.
Also, don't be a sex trade worker, substance abuser, or severely socioeconomically challenged.
Okay.
So just get on that.
Things.
Don't do those things. Most of the advice I'm going to tell you, you already know, from how to avoid being robbed, how to avoid a street fight, how to avoid carjacking, how to avoid being stalked, how to avoid home invasions. This is common sense stuff we've covered ad nauseum on many of our episodes. But if you haven't listened to those, dear audience, please go back and listen to them, because they're delightful episodes. I'm not going to cover all of those things because we'd be here for another 16 hours. I just want to give you some basic tips in broad strokes, because I do think it's very obvious stuff. Lock your doors and windows. Don't walk alone at night.
Right.
Always pay attention to your surroundings. If someone wants directions from you or asks for your help and you get any kind of weird feeling about the situation, say no. Don't get in someone's car.
Right.
I mean, Garen, you can get in an Uber. Keep an eye on your drink at the bar. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything that is newsworthy.
No, and if you're a kid and I'm not saying your kids, but if your kids are going to be alone, walking to and from school, a cell phone probably is the best thing. Because they can be tracked.
I guess.
What, you're against it? Yeah.
Because I don't want my kids to have a cell phone until they're in middle school. But my kids don't.
But they're not going to be by themselves before then, are they?
They can't. Their school's too far away for them to walk to.
Right.
But I sort of don't think that. This is just me, because I think cell phones are just too bad for kids' self-esteem.
Yeah.
I think the risk of kids being in danger from kidnapping is so small
compared to my kid's going to be anorexic.
And what cell phones are doing to kids' self-esteem is so high.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's
just
an excellent point.
I think they don't need them until they have a little bit more developed sense of self.
Yeah, I mean, my son didn't go into middle school.
Yeah, and so you guys, parents, whatever you decide, I support you. With
no,
phones.
but I understand your point.
I'm
You're saying the internet. When you say cell phones are bad for you mean the internet is bad for kids' self-esteem.
Yes. Okay. Park in a well-lit area. Don't park 6 blocks away in a dark alley. If you're going to go to have dinner somewhere nice and you're a lady and you're meeting your friend,
right?
Valet, if you can afford it. Just valet.
That's a really good point. I've gotten a lot more looser with the wallet when it comes to valeting.
Yeah.
But then when I was in my 20s and I was like, I'm fine.
Well,
I was just more invulnerable. But
you were actually more vulnerable because
I know.
Serial killers tend to not strike anyone over the age of 30. We're totally safe from serial killers.
Safe.
Oh my God.
We are beyond safe.
We are invisible.
Oh my God, this is fantastic.
It's wonderful.
News.
I love being invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, I thought this is from WikiHow and I thought it was funny. Don't rely on adrenaline to give you super speed. Engage in regular exercise so that you are physically strong enough to run quickly and get far enough away. I thought it was funny that anyone would think, well, I don't know, I don't have to worry, adrenaline's going to kick in.
And I will run like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. It's going to be Mission Impossible. So it's fine. This is actually, I think, a good tip. Yell, back off and push your attacker. Keep your voice confident and authoritative. I don't know.
It's authoritative, I think.
Yell loudly as you can. If anyone is within hearing distance, you might attract their attention. It's better than yelling help. We all know that. They always say, like, yell fire, but back off is better because it sounds like you're capable of fighting back.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Serial killers are typically methodical in making sure there is little risk of getting caught before approaching a potential victim. They don't want any trouble. I mean, they do.
Yeah, they want a lot of trouble. They want the most trouble.
They want your head in a freezer. But, you want to make trouble for them.
Right.
So, and help, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to get involved because I might get hurt or I might have to deal with the police and I have an outstanding ticket.
I have a very small head. I think my head would fit easily in a freezer, like even maybe in the side thing.
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe
for
I
sure.
am not as invulnerable.
Your head would look adorable in a freezer.
It would look so cute.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it now. Let's do
Just
that.
behind the vanilla ice cream.
Yes. It would keep well.
I think so.
If you meet a charming stranger, run in the opposite direction. That's my best
Don't
piece
go
of
to any
advice.
comedy clubs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't believe more comedians aren't serial killers, to be honest.
Well, they're serial somethings.
Or actors, because that's a lot of
Yes.
charm. You get in LA, there's so much charm.
Yeah.
But it's dangerous charm.
I guess what's his face? Army Hammer is probably the closest we've got.
But he's like, I just want to do serial killer like stuff, but I don't want to murder. I don't know.
No, I don't think he wants to murder, but I think he has hurt women. That's the claim. Although
Yes.
I don't think he's been charged with anything. Has he been charged with anything? I don't think so.
Think so, no.
But he's like working at a hotel or something. It's the strangest story.
He's working in a hotel?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like he'd need to
not
work.
Right, but like not in America. I think
Okay.
he's like working at like White Lotus, like somewhere
At the lobby behind the desk?
something like that. I might have this wrong, but I think
That was definitely a thing.
that was the
He
thing, right?
definitely
He was
working in a
spotted.
hotel in some
You're right, because he
tropic area.
comes from so much money.
But he might not have access
Maybe
to it.
he doesn't
if
have
his
access
family's
to it.
cut him off as a lesson.
I mean, they're all kind of degenerates.
Yes.
the Hammers, but
Yes.
I think we need to have John Hamm play him in a movie because John Hamm and Armie Hammer have the same voice.
I thought you were going to say, I think we need to have John Hamm on here to talk about it. And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we could do
Let's
that.
do
but
that.
Even if he knows nothing about it, we'll get him on.
Sounds great. I do have a great story.
Okay,
Do you want to hear it?
of course.
Okay. So, I'm going to open it up. Sorry.
The suspense is killing me and then two other people.
I don't want to. Oh, God, now I'm a serial killer.
Right.
Well, I'm going to get in the news. All right, here we go. Kara Robinson Chamberlain, 15, was watering plants and bushes in the front yard of a friend's house in West Columbia, South Carolina in the early afternoon of June 24th, 2002, when a Trans Am,
Oh,
Right?
flag.
I know, big red flag, pulled in the driveway and an affable guy, right?
Flag,
Charming. In his late 30s, wearing jeans, a button-down shirt, and a baseball cap, got out to offer some pamphlets.
Okay.
Pamphlets? What is he?
Amway salesman?
I don't know. I'm thinking like, what's that religion that always have pamphlet?
Oh, well,
Cut this out. I can't even.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Thank you.
Jehovah's
Thank you.
Witnesses,
Jehovah's
yeah.
Witness.
Watchtower.
He said, "Are your parents home?" And I said, "Well, this isn't my house. This is my friend's house."
Oh, boy.
And he said, "Okay, well, what about her parents? Are her parents home?" And I said, "No, her mom's not home right now." Kara. "I'll just leave these with you," he told her as he approached. Suddenly, the man, who was later identified as serial killer Richard Evanitz, pulled out a gun, pressed it to her neck, and forced her into a large storage bin that was stowed on the back seat of the car. Guys, I'm going to let you know the story's going to get scary.
Okay.
But remember, it's a survival story.
Okay.
Okay? She's 15. I'm just going to remind you she's 15.
Okay. She's my son's age.
As he
Jesus.
drove towards his apartment, Kara began counting the turns he made in hopes of later finding her way home again. She noticed details. He was listening to a classic rock station and smoking Marlboro Red cigarettes.
Flag.
I know. Already. She even memorized the serial number on the inside of the plastic container that he had forced her to kneel inside. My survival mechanism said, "All right, let's gather as much information as we can," she says. Fear barely even kicked in. The human will to survive and the survival mechanism really just can't be underestimated. On his way to his apartment, he pulled over and restrained her with handcuffs and put a gag in her mouth. He then took her to his cluttered apartment, also home to a guinea pig. I'm sorry.
Who was also being held against his will.
A lizard.
Oh, the lizard was there freely. The lizard knew what the lizard was getting into.
A lizard is a big red flag. And other small animals. Oh. They're not even listing what those animals are. And assaulted her for 18 hours.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Sweetie. Despite being terrorized, she tried to find ways to identify him. The names of his doctor and dentist were on his fridge, and to keep him calm. When he wanted to have some food, I said, "Well, I'm not going to eat right now, but is there anything I can do for you?" She says. I actually ended up sweeping his kitchen. That kind of manipulation, says Sheriff Leon Lott of Richland County, South Carolina, may have helped save her life. She was just putting him at ease and making him feel comfortable, gaining his trust. And that's what police negotiators do, explains Lott. She controlled her emotions to the point where she was able to develop a plan. In the dawn hours, when Evanitz was asleep, Kara was able to free one hand from a pair of handcuffs and unclip a leg restraint. She quietly tiptoed to the front door and made her escape. She ran towards a car in the parking lot and asked the two people inside to take her to the police station, where she recounted her ordeal. She was asked by the officers, this blows me away, to take them back to Evanitz's apartment. And because of her keen powers of observation and the help of the apartment maintenance man, they found his lair. However, by the time authorities got there, Evanitz had fled. Inside his apartment, they found a locked footlocker with newspaper clippings about the unsolved murders of 3 girls, Sophia Silva and sisters Katie and Kristen Lisk. They had all gone missing in Spotsylvania County, Virginia, more than 5 years before Kara's abduction. Police tracked him to Sarasota, Florida, and a high-speed chase there ended when he ran over spike strips on the highway and was attacked by a police dog. I love that dog.
Yes.
He then shot himself. For her help in solving the murders of Sophia and the Lisk sisters, Kara received $150,000 in reward money and was able to meet their families.
Oh.
It was one of the most important things that ever happened to me, she says, because it brought home the importance of what I did, because I felt like, wow, I'm actually giving these families something that they never would have gotten without me. Just the closure of knowing that the person responsible for their daughter's death is no longer here. Encouraged by Sheriff Lott, Kara took a part-time job in the summer during high school and college doing administrative work with the sheriff's department. She later became a school resources officer and an investigator on child abuse and sexual assault cases. She left her job in law enforcement after her 2 boys, whom she had with her husband, were born. It looks like her story was made into a movie. She became friends with Elizabeth Smart.
Oh, wow.
And did a 90-minute Lifetime special, Smart Justice, and met a lot of other women like Jamie Kloss. That was a very big kidnapping. And her documentary, Escaping Captivity, the Kara Robinson story, was released for Oxygen last year.
Wow.
And she has a website where she shares her story and spreads hope and encouragement to other survivors.
Well, not only did she give finality to those families, she also prevented future murders.
Yeah,
by getting the guy caught.
It's so incredible as if that a 15-year-old would have the wherewithal to
As
immediately.
I said, my son doesn't see himself driving. He can't successfully cook a frozen meal in the oven. This girl's fucking amazing.
It's incredible. Well, girls are a little more mature than boys.
I know.
But incredible story. So impressed with her wherewithal, and just awful that she had to endure something this awful, but so incredible that she survived it. And just that she prevented more brutality from this man, and now he's dead, and that's good.
Yay
She
to
saved
him.
a guinea pig.
Well, that's what I was wondering. What happened? I think those animals were left to fend for themselves, and the lizard ate the guinea pig, and I just think it was bacchanalia in there.
I think those animals were really happy that day because they saw some stuff.
Yeah.
So they were just like, get me out of this this nightmare lair.
Yeah. Wow.
Lizard just chain smoking.
Oh yeah, they were all smoking Marlboro Reds.
I don't know what I've seen.
Just rocking out to Leonard Skinner. Just for fuck's sake, he's finally gone. All right. Well, that was an amazing story, and I'm not going to sleep tonight. And we'll be right back with our guest.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
And we're back with Canva Presents Secret Sounds Work Edition. Caller, guess this sound.
It's a mouse click.
So close. That's actually publishing a website with Canva Docs. Next caller.
Definitely a mouse click.
Nice try. It was sorting 100 sticky notes with a Canva whiteboard. We also would have accepted resizing a Canva video into 10 different sizes.
What? No way.
Yes way. One click can go a long way. Love your work at canva.com.
Welcome back to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. Danielle.
Christine.
I like your little owl.
I have,
She has a pet owl on her shoulder.
I thought I'd be one of those people.
Yes.
I need more of an interesting personality, so I just got a pet owl.
You know what? Nothing makes a person seem like they have a personality than like a bird on their shoulder at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
You know what I think we should do?
Let's get into our episode.
Bring our guest in. Danielle.
Okay. So we're very lucky to have our guest. First of all, in the first half of the show, we talked about being the victim of a serial killer, and now we're going to talk about narrowly being the victim of a serial killer.
Almost.
With our guest, Maureen Driscoll. Maureen is a writer. We used to write together. She's also written on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Nice.
She now writes romance novels.
Ooh.
Really dirty ones.
Oh, good. We're going to get to that.
They better be. Like, those are my grandma's, my deceased grandmother's favorite kind of books were
romance novels.
Yeah, and when I was little, I used to, when I'd go to her house, I would like thumb through them trying to find the dirty parts.
Oh, that's fun.
That's one way.
Boy, you had a fun grandma.
One way to. Oh yeah, she's a pretty big woman, and she would eat. She loved turtles. Do you know what turtles are?
Yeah,
the chocolates with like the nuts, and she'd just balance them on her belly, and just have them there, and she'd just be like, I know I shouldn't eat all these. They're not good for me, but I just love them.
Oh,
she was pretty salty.
Then she'd read her trashy novels.
She liked to watch her stories.
Yeah,
as you know, the soap operas, and read her trashy novels with. I'm sure Fabio was on the cover of a lot of them.
My grandmother just liked to complain. And she's also an actress Maureen Driscoll, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Of course. So, are your novels a series? Like, is it the something series?
Yes, there are different series. I've got the Rich Brothers. They're all hot. Everyone's hot.
Good.
Rich Brothers, Poor Brothers, and then a group of women who. Unfortunately, the women don't have sex, but it's a group of women who live in a house.
Okay.
And they have sex with other people.
Oh, okay, got it. And so what are they called? What are these books called?
The Kellingtons are the rich guys, the Emersons are the poor guys, and Jasmine Cottage are the women.
Jasmine Cottage.
Oh my God.
That sounds steamy. Jasmine Cottage.
Jasmine Cottage. I bet it smells good.
It's really, hopefully it smells
Or
like
does it?
jasmine and not cottage.
Or it smells like sex.
It smells like cottage cheese and sex.
Ooh,
Jasmine.
no. Not there for the cottage cheese smell. Sorry.
Sorry. And you can get them on Amazon?
Amazon, exactly.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, we're going to link to all of it in the newsletter.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, we have a fancy newsletter.
With links.
With links.
Now with links.
Now with links.
Guys, we know how to do links. Don't want to brag, but...
Chris has figured it out. I'm too old. I'm a month older than her, so I can't figure this shit out. Anyway, so Maureen, I was going to call you Kristine. So Maureen, what is this crazy story?
Well, it's two stories. One of them is how to survive being an exchange student.
Okay.
Which leads into the other story, which is the more serious one.
I love it.
A lot of people, when they do exchange years, they'll do like a year abroad in college, like their junior year of college.
Right.
I did AFS, which is like a high school exchange student. So it's sort of like 16 Candles, but not as racist.
Okay. It's as racist as you make it. Is that fair to say?
Depends on the year.
Yeah, it depends. Right.
Well, it was 1981, so it probably was
pretty
racist.
racist.
But yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad. And also, when I left, my mom was 58 years old. I was positive. I was like, oh my God, what if she dies when I'm gone?
Because she's so old.
Because she's so old.
And remind us how old your mother is right now?
My mom's 99.
99.
Wow.
And also, I'm 60. So I'm now 2 years older than the age
That you thought she was going to have a heart attack and die.
Oh my God. It's so funny how, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is, so with this program, you go to whatever this country was. For me, it was Switzerland. And you get assigned to a family. And you live with the family, in theory, for the entire year. But sometimes it doesn't work out.
Oh.
And, they put you in a school, and then you go to school. And the ironic part is I hate school. I've had a lot of it. I have a master's degree. I teach at an MFA program, and I hate school.
You just can't get away from
They
it.
just keep pulling you back in.
And, I wasn't getting credit for this. I just had to go to school, because I already graduated from high
Right.
school. I hadn't started college. I was just going to school and doing homework.
Oh, like summer school, but in Switzerland.
And for a year.
Oh, okay. So it didn't count toward college?
No.
Oh, this is a weird plan.
It's terrible.
I don't get this. Okay.
It's awful. Things were not going that well at home with the family I was living with, because their daughter didn't live there. She'd already graduated. And so it was just the parents. He was an actor, and he spent most of his time in Zurich, and we were in Basel. So she was home a lot, and I think she thought I might be a companion, which...
Oh, you're like, I'm 18. I don't want to ever be here.
Yes. And they used to drink quite a bit. And I know, because I came from Helena, Montana, which is this very small town. And my mom drank occasionally, but not like every day. Like in Europe, as I know now, people do drink, like a little glass of wine at night or whatever. I mean, theirs was a little bit more than that, because they used to get kind of schnockered.
Okay.
And I had written at one point... I'd written a letter to my mom about that I thought they might be alcoholics. Now, in my defense, again, they used to get schnockered, and they also set the Christmas tree on fire.
Wait, did they do the German thing where it's real candles?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that has to happen like 80% of the time, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a recipe for disaster. Were you there when they set the Christmas tree on fire?
I was asleep because I came out the next day and the
Whoa.
Christmas tree was on the balcony. It burned up.
Oh my God.
So about midway through, they found the letter, and then the AFS person came at school. and
Wait,
got
you
me
didn't
out.
send the letter.
It was because I was in the middle of writing it.
They found the letter and they read it?
Yeah.
That is so obnoxious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I was at school. The woman, the local AFS contact, gets me, goes to lunch, and she's like, yeah, you can't go back there. I was like, what? And she's like, they're kicking you out.
Oh, no.
Wow. I know, because they found that, and because he was an actor, and he's like, oh, well, I think they just want to get rid of me.
Okay.
But that was his excuse, like, oh, that would ruin my reputation.
Right.
People probably knew he drank.
Right.
I mean, again, the Christmas tree is not an isolated event. So,
was he a famous Swiss actor?
Sort of. I guess he was a theater actor.
Okay.
You know, theater.
Yeah, theater.
So I was getting kicked out of that, and it was right before we did this. Like, they were halfway through. We went to Geneva, as everybody who's in AFS in Switzerland, they went to this like week away, and this was the first. This is the first time I almost died. So
you never forget your first time.
Oh, we were out on this, like, I guess we were sort of outside of Geneva, and it was on this, like, road, and I was going to take pictures of everybody back in the day when it was, like, a camera that, like, had film and I don't know.
Flash bulbs, yes. Yeah.
Now I'm picturing this thing with the curtain. The guy goes in
yes, we had those, of course, in the 80s.
So I was looking at the camera. I was going out. I was running out into the road. And then I turned around at the last minute to take the picture, and the group was like, what? And I felt something behind me.
Okay.
And it was a guy, and I mean, it wasn't a race car, but he must have been going like 90 or 100, and had just, like, if I hadn't turned at the last minute, because I didn't even see, he was going so fast, he wasn't even there by the time I did that. But they were like, oh my God. And I could feel it, and I sort of knew that was like that really could have been a bad ending to my exchange year in Switzerland.
Wow.
So was the picture you took all of them like, like terrified?
I wish it had been. So, and then when I got back to Switzerland, there was a party, and I still didn't have a place to live. So I was living in a temporary place, and they had, it was like a skylight in there, except it was over my bed, and I couldn't figure out how to lower it, and it snowed on me.
Oh, no. Wow. No.
So I went to this party for my classmates, and I walk in the door, and there's like dead silence. And I was like, ooh. And they're like, well, we found out that you were kicked out of your home. And I was like, yes. And this is one of the nicest things to ever happen, is that there were, I think it was like, I don't know, like 22 weeks left of my thing. There were 22 of them, and they said that they had asked their parents, and I could stay with each of them for a week.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It really, yes.
That's really nice.
Like, it was really, really nice. When I was actually with the first family, I started bleeding from my rectum.
What?
Whoa.
I know, this is an event-filled year. And so, they're like, okay, you should probably go to a doctor. So
just pack some ice in it.
I think I will.
What?
Herring, I guess.
That's how they make it.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Compression.
And so then I go in for the exam, and so I start telling the guy about the bleeding out of my rectum problem. And he's like, well, why are you here? And I said, well, I'm an exchange student. I'm in school. He's like, you're in school? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, Deutsch. I'm like, what? He's like, Sie müssen Deutsch sprechen. I have to speak German. So,
he's making you speak German in the examination?
Yes, even though he was fluent in English.
Did you know anal bleeding in German?
You're like, come on. There's one time where I want to be able to speak English. It's when my butt's bleeding.
What an asshole, so to speak.
So the whole time, blut I knew for blood, and there's like a lot of pointing. But I'm thinking, really, he's fluent in English.
Right.
I'm definitely not fluent in German. This is not the learning experience time. I mean, so that was sort of my first experience with uncomfortable conversations in German. And Kristine, as you know, German is not. Like, even saying Merry Christmas is not like, it sounds like, just saying, go fuck yourself. So, I mean, it's not a good language.
It's not soft.
No, it's not soft.
It's not easy.
Did they find out why you were bleeding from your anus?
Beets.
It was beets the whole time. Because you were, that's hysterical. Oh my, well, we've all had that experience.
I haven't.
I have. With beets?
Yeah.
Sure. It colors things.
I don't think I've had that.
You never, really?
No.
Oh, there's probably a lot of beets in Switzerland, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a root vegetable.
Yeah, a lot of they love their root vegetables over there.
They do.
Oh,
they really love them.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
I'm so glad that nothing was wrong. I was really thinking like, oh, well, I was stressed butt bleeding and had to go on bed rest.
You thought there was a part of the trip she left out or something. But I was like, I don't know what happened here.
Oh, have you ever had sympathy blood bleeds? Horrible. Almost got a spit take. Almost.
Almost what?
Got a spit take.
Almost got a spit take from me, yes.
So in the course of the year, one of the things I learned about the Swiss is that they like to hitchhike. So the hitchhiking for the front, because I was usually with one of my friends, but I would do it by myself. And I remember this one time I was hitching into town and this car stopped, and the mental image I associate it with now is there was 4 guys in this car, and they were sort of like Sons of Anarchy. But I'm not talking Charlie Hunnam. I'm talking about like,
The other ones?
The extras.
Okay. The extras. Okay.
And I remember, I don't even know if they make these cars anymore, but do you remember like the 2 doors? Like it seated, like there was a back seat, but you couldn't get in. You'd have to move the front seat up or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 doors.
So it was these 4 guys who pull up in this small car, 2 doors. I'm going to have to get in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no door.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a part of me is like, this is probably a bad idea. But because I'm a young lady who is, raised to be polite, they did stop.
Yes.
It would
You don't want to hurt their feelings.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
It would have been so rude to say no, thank you. So I got into the car, and they took me to where I wanted to go, and they let me out. And I'm like, feeling dunk and the whole thing. So you shouldn't stereotype people.
Right.
Like they were really like. So these are the types of interactions I had on a regular basis. So I think it was like a couple weeks after this, it was the end of the school year, and my class had gone to the Black Forest, as you do.
Yeah.
And we had a little outing, and then we came back on a bus, and it was, I lived in the suburbs, and I wasn't really sure, well, I was going to say I'm not really sure where the tram stop was from there, but it didn't matter. I was going to hitchhike anyway.
Okay.
So I decided I'm going to hitchhike home. So stick the, thumb out, and this guy in a nice suit, in a BMW, with German plates, stops. And he says, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to Rhinock." And he said, "Oh, so am I." I said, "Oh, that's great." So I get in the car, and so he's driving, and we're chit-chatting, and he misses the first turnoff. But, he's from Germany. He might not know.
Right.
So we're driving along, and he's really, talking a lot, and we passed the second turnoff.
Okay.
And there's only one left before you get to no man's land, which is that sort of like 2-mile area where there's nobody around before you get to the border. So I'm like, okay, something is really weird. And it's sort of what you do get that feeling. And so I started paying attention, and I said, well, you missed the turnoff, and there's one more. And he said, well, I'm not taking you to your home. I'm taking you to my home.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
So everything inside me, it was like, okay, this is it. I mean, this is, you don't fuck around with this. And also, before I continue with the story, people listening to this, podcast, there are people who have been sexually assaulted. There have been people who have been placed in positions like this, or somebody. I mean, it is that prevalent.
Yeah.
So I am sorry if this is triggering you. Whatever you did to get out of that and to be in a position where you're now listening to this lovely podcast, you did the right thing.
Right.
No matter what it was, you did the right thing. You did it. So
are we about to hear that you killed a man? I feel like that's what's coming.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I feel like if you just told them about the rectal bleeding, you probably would have got it really easy.
quick, eats and beats.
Oh my God. So anyway, so I know this is the real thing. So I've heard you be assertive, like you said earlier. You can't sort of be meek. You have to this is it. It's fight or flight. Physically, I'm sitting up, and he's like, I want you to touch my penis, and I was like, I'm not. No. Now keep in mind, this entire conversation is in German.
Oh wow! And so you're not fluent at this time in German.
No.
Do you understand a lot, but you can't speak it, or just so we know?
I can understand everything.
Okay.
But my speaking skills are like a second grader.
Okay.
But I did understand penis. I don't know what the word for it is now.
Sure.
But
Okay.
at the time, I'm like,
Chris,
I don't.
you don't know. Okay. Garen.
So you don't do the German for the bedtime talk.
We don't do sexy talk in German, and I think you know why.
So anyway, so he's like, why don't you touch my penis? I'm like, no. And he's like, I want to touch your breast. And I was like, no, I don't want to get out of this car right now. And I was like, just like that, I'm like, out. And so he did pull over. He slowed the car down. I jumped out, and he went on his way. I wish to God that I had, reported this, but I was still very shaken. But the thing that I didn't realize until later that it registered with me is I was in this conversation and I knew, like, this is like no doubt in my voice, this is going to be whatever. When he said, I want to touch your breasts, I didn't say 9. I said 9 Donka, which is no thank you.
You're still polite.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Because they don't raise you to just say no.
Yeah.
You're a girl. You're a
You have to
polite girl.
say-
It's 9 Donka. So to his limited credit, he might have been a little confused at that point. But yeah, the 9 Donka.
Oh my God.
Is the, yeah,
Wow.
I can't
Donka.
believe that worked.
It was, he must have, and obviously I feel guilty now that I didn't call the police on this guy, but I don't know if this is one of those things, maybe he was in his early career.
Yeah. Well, he got scared off.
He got scared off.
So this may not have been a thing he did all the time, for sure.
I hope.
Oh God. So how did you get back? Did you hitch back home?
Like stuck my thumb back out.
I waited for a guy with 4 cars in it. I called home. I called home and I was really shaken, and they came to pick me up. I should be saying, and I learned my lesson.
Right.
So 3 weeks later, the British girl and I decided to go to France because when am I going to get back to Europe again? So we decided to go to France and Italy, and so it was too expensive to like get a hotel. So we decided to be on the train all night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember going to we were at a train station in Italy. It was like 2 a.m. and we were waiting for the train, and these 4 guys came up to hassle us, and again, instead of like saying, get the fuck away, I thought I could dissuade them politely by saying we weren't interested because I was Catholic.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, keep in mind, this is in Italy.
Yeah.
They're all fucking Catholic.
They're all fucking Catholic.
Yeah.
And again, not just like, no, get out of here. It was like, oh, no, I didn't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we need to do a better, and hopefully, your parents, hopefully we are doing a better job with girls and women and not saying you have to be polite.
Yeah.
Especially because, it's carried over to my entire life of like, I don't need to ask for a raise. I'm sure people just give me one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. That passivity that is inbred to women culturally that hopefully in the next generation. I'm certainly trying to teach my daughter to...
She's not passive.
Oh, she's not polite either.
Even when it's called for.
Even when she needs to be.
She raised an army to shame their parents for having a cigarette. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna be on
she's a leader.
She's definitely a leader.
Yeah.
So
in the apocalypse, she's going to be the one taking a little kid across.
yeah,
To
or a
safety.
grown man.
Or a grown man.
She's going to be
Yeah,
taking
she's gonna be-
Pedro Pascal
to safety for sure. Wow.
I think that's so. What a great story, and I love everything you're sort of sharing about it, and also that you're sharing that like whatever you do or don't you do is okay. Because I do think there's a lot of, I don't know, like. One thing that does bother me about this sort of true crime narrative is that women sort of always need to do this or that to prevent something. And sometimes you can't prevent it no matter what you do. It's because that feels like another form of victim blaming.
Yeah.
If you're like, here's all the things you need to do to protect yourself. And it's like, okay, but really you can do everything right and still terrible things can happen.
Yeah.
So it's really not, the onus isn't on us. And, we don't have to feel bad about what we did or didn't do in a situation.
Yeah, no, you're going to be dealing with so much the aftermath of something traumatic anyway. You don't need to be blaming yourself.
Like, what if I would have done this, or what if I didn't do that, or I wish I would have done this
to do that. But
it's also societal that we always feel like we have to say, well, if you did this would, like, why are we that? Why is that our first instinct?
I think because I think I know why. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think with me, because I do that, I'm like, well, why didn't they do that one? I think it's because you hope that if you were in the situation, you would have had the smarts or the reaction time or whatever to do that. So you're trying to tell yourself it couldn't happen to me.
Right.
So it's actually a protective thing. It's not.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's where it comes from. Like, well, why would they? Why wouldn't they? Why should they? Well, it's not, for me at least, I don't feel like I'm blaming them so much as I'm like, well, maybe I guess I am, but it's also in a defensive, like, that wouldn't have happened to me. But I don't know that I would have had the presence of mind to yell and scream at the guy like that. That's amazing. I don't think that's passive at all, what you did in the car. I think that's really gutsy. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I've not been in that situation.
It's also, we never know until the situation, until an emergency, whether it's like the house is on fire, or one of our children get hurt, or we're in a car with a potential assaulter, how we're going to react, because we can't go through drills of it really realistically, and even if it's a drill, it's a drill, right?
Right.
So I think it's partly that you just don't know until you're in it. How you're going to react, right? But it's easy for us to be like, I wouldn't have done this, or I wouldn't have done that, or if it were me, I would have behaved this way. And I think it's also like we know our instincts can tell us. Like in a lot of these situations, when they say like, do this, but like in the story I told, she knew not to fight. She became passive, and she sort of, I don't want to say endeared, but she made herself
smart.
Passive to him in a way that it seemed that he didn't want to kill her.
Right.
So there are some situations where your intuition says, okay, this is how I should behave to stay alive. So it's also about sort of reading the room.
Right.
And knowing what's the best course of action in that situation.
I don't even know how you do that in the minute. Maureen, thank you so much for being here. That was amazing. 2 amazing stories, really, all combined. But that was fantastic. And we'll look for your books on Amazon, and I guess that's it. So we'll be right back with what did we learn today?
Yes, we can't wait.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This episode is sponsored by AutoTrader. There's a good chance you're driving right now. Look around. Safely. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan, leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars, used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it, AutoTrader. Find your next car on autotrader.com.
Chris, are you ready to learn what we learned today?
Yes.
It's raining, try and smile, pretend you're Gene Kelly.
Oh, he was.
I always do.
Very
actually.
handsome.
Oh my god,
I'd like to be
sexy.
I'll come back as Gene Kelly.
Yeah. Smear the deer and bash the butterfly.
Yes,
that's a good one, Karen. GRNDSQRL does not appear to sell actual squirrel. Ground squirrel does not sell actual squirrel, so that's good to know.
I guess. I mean, I don't know why they don't.
Leslie Allen Williams is an American serial killer, rapist, and necrophile who is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole in Michigan for the murders and rapes of 4 teenage girls in Oakland and Genesee counties from 91 to 92. His case became controversial in that he was on parole at the time of the killings, bringing up flaws in the Michigan parole system.
I have not heard back from my dad yet about that, so no updates yet.
Between 70 and 95, Ted Kaczynski mailed or hand-delivered a series of increasingly sophisticated bombs that cumulatively killed 3 people and injured 23 others. 16 bombs were attributed to Kaczynski. So that must be why he was considered a serial killer, because it was in more than one bomb. Even though he was trying to kill more than one person at a time, he did it more than once.
Okay.
The 2008 Sam Mendes film that reunited Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio was called Revolutionary Road. We both had the name wrong. It's great if you like watching people argue for 2 hours. That's what I remember about it. Just a lot of in the kitchen arguing. Yes. And it was just like, ugh. Serial killers come in all shapes and sizes. Variety is the spice of taking life.
The spice of taking life.
Eileen Carol Wuornos was an American serial killer in 1989 to 90. While engaging in street prostitution along highways in Florida, she shot dead and robbed 7 of her male clients. Wuornos claimed that her clients had either raped or attempted to rape her, and that all of the homicides were committed in self-defense. DSM-4 is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. That's what you were talking about? You might be surprised to learn that criminalists and FBI profilers believe there are around 2,000 active serial killers in the U.S. alone. Get to work on that presidential campaign. Want to avoid a serial killer? Be rich and have friends. Being white can't hurt. Best part of turning 30? Protection from serial killers. Mm-hmm. Penis in German is penis, or apparently Schwanz. Oh, yeah, we knew that. Schwanz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a Yiddish thing, too. Is penis? You could actually say it in German as penis?
It came up first.
All right.
Schwanz, I think, is the slang.
Schwanz. Like. Yeah.
Schwanz.
We're going to do some shout outs.
Let's do it.
All right. These are thank yous to our Patreon Seek Shelter members who are going to be getting another hot bonus episode real soon. We're taping it tomorrow night. So I don't know, you guys.
Get on the train.
Think about your outfits. And
right. Is it another red carpet situation?
It's another red carpet event.
Okay.
And
a 2?
What?
We're going to get a 2 this time?
We're going to get a 2, big balloon. And I'm going to bring some leftover alcohol from my party.
Awesome.
Because there was lots left over.
Okay.
All right. First, we want to thank Marianne Schwartz.
Thanks, Marianne.
And not Schwanz.
No. But Schwartz is black in German, right?
Black is... White is... Black is Schwartz. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Garen, help me. It's close, but I don't think that's right.
Okay.
Schwartz.
Just kidding. It is. You're totally
because
right.
there's... Yeah, I know.
So Schwanz and Schwartz.
Schwartz. It's just spelled differently, so I was really confused.
Got it.
Schwartz.
I'm sure Marianne is appreciating that we're doing this to her name.
Marianne Black.
Marianne Black.
Marianne Black. Okay. We're going to give our next thanks to someone named...
Uh-oh.
I don't know if this is Mick or Mike, because it's M... lowercase, capital C. Mick Kang Beats.
Wait, the M is lowercase?
No, capital M,
Okay.
lowercase I, which would make sense.
Oh.
But then capital C.
Mick.
Mick Kang Beats.
Wait a second. Is that a product that you wear over your ears to listen to music? Mick Kang Beats?
I think we are being sponsored by
Mick
some
Kang
speaker,
Beats?
some headphones.
So Kang is one name and Beats is one name?
It's hyphenated, so it's like
Kang Beats.
Kang Beats.
Well, I don't know if this is real. I mean, it sounds like he's an MC or something.
Or
Mike Kang.
we don't know their pronouns. We don't know if it's he or she. So let's say they.
Regardless, it's a very cool name.
It's a cool name. Mick Kang Beats. Let me know if it's Mike.
Let me know if this is your real name or a product you're pushing.
Yeah, let us know how we can support your business. Whatever it may be.
But thank you for supporting ours.
Yeah, thank you so much for supporting ours. Next, friend of the show, John Coppersmith.
Oh, thank you, John Coppersmith.
We know John supports us. He's bought a T-shirt. He sent us a picture of him in the T-shirt.
Yes.
A Garden Squirrel shirt, I believe, even though he does love and support us women.
Yeah.
So he said he did feel a little bad doing that.
I think we have to give ourselves cartoon presences in some way. I mean, we have us running up the hill.
Yeah.
As sort of silhouettes, but they're not really cartoony.
Or maybe just looking cool, like... I'm gonna figure it out.
We'll think on it.
I have an artist in mind who I think should commission for us something, but I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she's available. Okay, Steve Kemery. Thank you, Steve. I don't think that's two first name situation.
No, it's a cool name. I've never heard that before.
Steve Kemery. Sounds like an actor. Like he's maybe on one of those fire shows. You know, like how CBS is just like
Chicago Fire, Chicago Mail, Chicago.
It's all
taxes.
Chicago Hope, Chicago Fire, Chicago 911.
That's a 2,000-year-old show.
Chicago Hope from when we were 7.
Yeah.
But isn't it like there's like, and they
it's
all
a franchise,
cross over each other. He sounds like he's like plays an EMT.
Kemery, yeah.
Oh, you don't know Steve Kemery?
He's the hottest one on there.
He can pull off stubble.
McDreamy. Got nothing on Kemery.
Yeah.
One more to thank. Oh, a UK email address.
Oh.
Ashley Bradbury.
Oh, that's the most. Is it Leigh or Ley?
Ley.
That's the most British name I've ever heard.
I don't know.
Except for Benedict
they might be male.
Yeah, Ashley can go either way for sure.
Oh, you know it.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no, Ashley. That's terrible.
I think you should work that into your Oklahoma characters.
Oh, I'll buy your horse for 10 pence.
Oh, my God. She's going to slug you in the face.
She already wants to most of the time.
Yeah. When she doesn't want, when she's not like hugging you and loving on you so much.
Telling me I need to be a Nordstrom model.
Yeah.
Well, she wants us both to be Nordstrom models.
Well, maybe not anymore me because I'm a bad influence on you. She probably wants me away from you.
I used to think Danielle could be a Nordstrom model until she made you smoke. She made everyone smoke at the party. Okay. Thank you guys for seeking shelter.
Yes.
And being our most loyal listeners. No, we love all of you because your support means so much because, you know, it allows us to keep Garen employed.
Right.
And
he's on a thin thread. I mean, week to week we tell him, okay, you can come back next week. You can't. Yeah.
There's enough.
He's living on the edge.
Yeah. So thank you for that. We'd love to keep him employed. And we love you guys for just listening and supporting us and saying nice things that, you know, it means a lot to us. So check us out online. Check out our Patreon. It costs nothing to check it out.
Yeah.
And what else, Danielle?
I think that's it. I was just going to say that there are different levels of the Patreon, as you will see, and we've talked about. And also, we have actually been having a lot of leftover material that we put in the extended version of the episodes that get on to Patreon. So it is, even without the bonus episodes, I mean, that in itself is like kind of having a whole other episode in a sense. Because
it's mostly Garen. Because we cut him out of the main episodes.
You have no idea how
public consumption.
You have no idea how much Garen just talks and talks and talks and talks.
It's so dirty too. It's like always about his sex life, and we're like, Garen, stop.
So, for instance, the Mike Schmidt episode that we've been getting lots of nice feedback on, there's even more of that episode. If you
that guy wouldn't stop.
He is a storyteller, and
so
actually,
funny.
us too. We had extra stuff at the top of the show too. So it's just a fun way to listen to more of us if that's your jam.
I'm glad it is if it is.
Yeah.
And
until next time,
remain calm.